I was class of 70 at Gordon Military College, class of 70. I really enjoyed the 2 years experience here in the military college. I had family that had come before. I had family, including my wife and son, that also went to Gordon Junior College here. And I'm very happy to be here today to meet some of the ones I had not seen in 45 years. And
Mary Ann Leverett, Gordon High School class of 66, College of 68. And I'm just very proud of this memorial. I was looking, the Branches. Bill Branch was a neighbor. This little girl and my son played together, and Judy and I were friends. And so I'm so glad to see him being honored. And I was noticing over there on World War II, I have a cousin who was killed in World War II who's on there. So I didn't realize his name would be on the memorial. So I think it's a wonderful tribute.
I'm Tony Watts. I graduated from high school in 1964, junior college 1967.
I'm Goebel Berry, and I graduated high school in '64 and came back from the Navy and graduated from Gordon in I think '74.
And how do you feel about the memorial that
I think it's been a long time coming. I think it's a great effort, and it's been good to be a part of it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm glad to have my name on the wall, my brother's name on the wall, who graduated here in 1957, 1959, John Watts. And he retired as Lieutenant Colonel after going to Gordon. So very proud day.
Thank you very much.
David Stallon. I graduated in '69. I'm very impressed with it. We've been 5 years there. Went from 8th grade to the senior in high school. Well, and I went a year, half a year college here too. Then I joined the service. So that's about it. But I had a good time here. I enjoyed the whole time, basically.
And how many alumni meetings have you been to?
Actually, this is the first one.
Are you going to be coming back?
I probably will, yeah.
My name is Robert Melvin, and I'm here today for the memorial. I graduated high school class of 58, and then I went another year and a half of college. And I think having this is great. As you can see, I've been supporting it for a while, and I think it's great. It's just awesome to have the two cannons back. For our generation, the cannons were a big deal because they were at the entrance of where we came into school. My roommate started doing this with me, and he donated one of the first $500 to the program. He died 5 years ago, so I brought him to be here with us today. He's not here, but his memory is here, and he was an awesome guy.
Happy for optimism. This memorial is overdue, but today's the best day to acknowledge those who served our country and who gave themselves for our freedoms. 2008. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
correspondence that followed my reading of one of the Gordon alumni magazines. And we began a correspondence about our various experiences at Gordon. And then in 2005, we met at Piero's Restaurant off Northside Parkway near West Paces Ferry Road, for those of you familiar with Atlanta. And we had lunch there that started out as probably just going to be a short lunch and get to know each other, and it ended up being a 3-hour lunch. And during that lunch, Rhonda and I talking about the Gordon Military College days, and it was a shame that there was no marker, no monument, no nothing to commemorate the
occasion of solemnity is about upon us, and I want to remind you that the names that will be read are etched on that granite block, and they gave their all for their country. And thank you as families for representing them here with your presence. I'm going to read the names by war or conflict, beginning with World War I. First Lieutenant Tom Reed Beasley, Second Lieutenant Joseph Spurgeon Brewster, First Lieutenant William Burke Coleman, Sergeant David Parker Hughes, Private First Class Frank Morton Hunt, First Lieutenant Percival Connolly Jones, Second Lieutenant Lewis Martin Killian, First Lieutenant James Roundtree Kingery, Second Lieutenant Joe Glenn Maddox, Private Emmett Leon Martin, Sergeant Paul Bryans Mentor, Captain James Stanley Moore Jr., faculty, First Lieutenant Charles Carter Riddicore, faculty, Private John Brian Riles Jr., First Lieutenant Kenzie L. Stewart, Colonel James Adrian Thomas Jr., Private Marion Footman Wilson, Sergeant John Frederick Withoft. From World War II, Sergeant Wilfred M. Berry Jr., Engineman Second Class Thomas Hardiman Boggs, Private Olin E. Crawford Jr., Lieutenant Colonel John Dowdy, Second Lieutenant Robert Guillebeau, First Lieutenant Ralph A. Hardy, Private First Class Robert Murray Harrell, Second Lieutenant John Richard Johnston, Technical Sergeant Orrin D. Lashley, Corporal Marion Eugene Matthews, First Lieutenant Harold Gordon Moore, Second Lieutenant Jack T. Moore, Second Lieutenant Douglas L. Murdoch, Captain Saint E. Rickerson Jr., Private Louis E. Sykes Jr., Staff Sergeant Sam A. Smith, Second Lieutenant William T. Summers Jr., First Lieutenant James Virgil Turner, Private George T. Welch, First Lieutenant William Dawson Williams Jr., Private Jesse Miller Wilson, Sergeant Mel Whitker, Sergeant Harold M. Wood, Private Charles Cocroft Woodall. From the Korean War, Master Sergeant Jonathan L. Miller, First Lieutenant Marvin Pierce Owen Jr., Private First Class Richard Donald Piper, Lieutenant Colonel George B. Robinson, faculty. From the Vietnam War, Captain William Anderson Branch, faculty. Sergeant Milton Jackson Bush, Major Roy Ellsworth Congleton, faculty. Specialist Charles Michael Carey, Sergeant Arthur Blake Cruz, Warrant Officer Michael C. Dundas, First Lieutenant Donovan Lee Ewoldt, Lance Corporal Carlton Harvey Hood, Captain Lawrence Curtis Hughes, Captain Fred Orr Jackson Jr., Specialist Thomas John Salmon III, Sergeant Thomas Richard Sieben, First Lieutenant Thomas Gary Sykes, Private First Class James Drury Tyus Jr., Major Gerald Michael Wynn, faculty. Lastly, from the Global War on Terrorism, Sergeant First Class Robert Lee Aller Jr. That completes the reading of the names on the wall, 62 who died for their country.
But in 1892, the nation recognized the need for training of young officers other than at the service academies and assigned 75 officers to cover the whole United States as a military advisor for the staffs there. Gordon got one of those, and his name was Lieutenant Alex R. Piper, 2nd Infantry, U.S. Army. And he must have done a pretty good job because it really stuck with us, and it's such a proud institution in so many ways. As it grew over the years, during World War I, Gordon had 450 cadets and staff that served in the armed forces. 155 of those were commissioned officers. The only other college.
We stand in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who served nobly, as you all know. The writer Michel de Montaigne once said, "Valor is stability, not of legs and arms, but of courage and the soul." Nursing was a second career for me here. If it weren't for the great support of the nursing staff and the teaching staff, I would not be here speaking to you today, nor would I be in the military. I would like to say this. May this place, this memorial, be a reminder of sacrifices that have been made and will be made in our attempts to make this world a better place. Thank you for attending today. God bless you and your families, and may God bless our troops.
And the United States of America.
Amen. The veterans from this memorial today. This memorial will ever mark their sacrifice while serving our country with honor and bravery. Their absence is deeply felt by loved ones, associates, and friends, and their patriotic attributes are a shining example for all. We thank you and praise you, Heavenly Father, for the ways in which they inspired our lives in so many ways. We miss them greatly, and they will never be forgotten. As we dedicate this memorial to these fallen veterans, I ask a special blessing on each family member or friend representing a fallen loved one, and that you give them peace that passes all understanding. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time of remembrance, and may God bless each of you and keep you safe, and make his face to shine upon you, and may God bless the United States of America. Amen. Amen.